when a girl's disinterest is actually a sign she likes you and how to respond. Old Stoic wisdom. Sometimes what we perceive as indifference is simply the fear of vulnerability clothed in silence. Anonymous. Most men miss the mark when it comes to subtle female signals. What appears as disinterest is often not rejection. It's restraint, uncertainty, or even an unconscious test. Unfortunately, many men walk away too soon, unaware they were just one moment of poise or clarity away from shifting the entire dynamic in their favour. In this video, we'll unpack 10 hidden signs that a woman's so-called disinterest may actually be veiled attraction. The final sign. It's so understated that even experienced men often overlook it. By understanding these signs and applying the calm, grounded mindset of the Stoics, you'll respond not with overreaction, but with strength, presence, and insight. 1. She withdraws after a good interaction. You had a moment, the kind of connection that doesn't come around often. Her eyes lit up, the conversation flowed, the vibe was electric, and then she vanished. Radio silence, a slow fade, no more playful texts, no double taps on your latest photo, not even a polite emoji to acknowledge your last message. Most men fall apart here. They obsess, overanalyze, panic. They ask themselves, what did I do wrong? They start chasing. Don't. Be smarter. Be still. This isn't rejection. It's a test. An old Stoic wisdom says never react wildly to a test. Respond with composure. Act with reason. Stand with an iron mind. What just happened wasn't confusion, it was chemistry. And that surge of emotional connection, it caught her off guard. See, a woman's heart can move faster than her guardrails. When she feels a rush, something deep, something real, her survival instincts kick in. She's not trying to hurt you, she's trying to protect herself. Evolution didn't build women to fall recklessly into connection. Her emotional wiring is complex, ancient. It says, pause, retreat. Make sure this man is who he appears to be. And so, she withdraws, not because she felt nothing, but because she felt too much, too fast. That's the paradox. That's the signal. This is where men with weak foundations crumble. But not you. Don't take the bait. Don't send the "did I do something wrong" text. Don't start scrolling through her social media like a man possessed. Don't try to fix what isn't broken. Old Stoic wisdom teaches us that desire must be tempered by discipline. Your power lies in stillness. You must be the anchor in her emotional storm. When she retreats, you don't follow. When she doubts, you don't defend. When she tests, you don't flinch. Let her feel your calm. That calm is your magnetism. That is the gravity she'll orbit back to. Not because you pulled her, but because you held the center. Understand this, her emotional system will recalibrate. The intensity she felt with you didn't vanish. It's still there, under the surface, replaying in her mind. And every day you don't chase, don't press, don't panic. You grow in her memory. You become more mysterious, more solid, more valuable, iron mind, Stoic principles. The ancient thinkers knew that emotion is a wave. It rises, it crashes, but it always returns to equilibrium. You don't ride it, you observe it. You stay above it. That's your job now. Be the man who doesn't unravel just because she needs space. Be the man who doesn't need immediate reassurance to validate his worth. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to shake. A man of Stoic principles isn't ice cold. He's warm, but unshaken. She's not testing your affection. She's testing your center. She's asking, silently, can I feel safe with this man? Can I trust him not to collapse under pressure? You answer not with words, but with behavior, with stillness, with control, with that rare, grounded energy that says, I am enough, and I am not moved by temporary emotion. That's how you win. Not by reacting, but by embodying presence. A man with an iron mind never begs. He never scrambles. He simply stands. So when she pulls away after a powerful moment, don't see it as the end. See it as the beginning of a deeper test, and pass it like the ancients would, quietly, with grace, with discipline. Let old Stoic wisdom guide you. Let your silence say more than any text ever could. You don't need to chase what's meant for you. You only need to remain worthy of it. That's not passivity. That's strategy. That's not fear. That's strength. And the man who holds his frame when others fall apart, he becomes unforgettable. Be that man. Be the calm. Be the signal she returns to. 2. She acts colder when you're more composed. You finally decide to walk the path of self-mastery. You're no longer the man who flinches at silence, overreacts to mixed signals, or dances like a puppet at every flick of attention. You've embraced Stoic rules. You've learned to regulate your emotions. You've become the calm eye in life's storm. And then she pulls away, colder than before, shorter replies, less sparkle in her gaze, and you begin to wonder, wasn't I doing it right? Stop, breathe, don't panic. This is not rejection. This is the first test. In the ancient paths of wisdom, even the Stoics knew the world doesn't always respond with applause when you get better. It tests your balance. Here's the paradox no one teaches you. Your emotional self-control, your composed demeanour, your grounded masculinity, it unsettles her, not because she dislikes it, but because it quietly exposes everything inside her that isn't calm. Your composure is a mirror. It reflects her emotional turbulence. Where you've steadied yourself, she may still be wrestling with storms, and rather than saying, "Wow, this man is grounded," her first instinct is to push back. She may become distant, cool, seemingly disinterested. But don't be fooled. This is projection, not rejection. Psychologically, when a woman feels emotionally exposed, vulnerable, she doesn't always respond with warmth. Instead, she guards, she tests, she creates resistance. Think of it as her defense mechanism whispering, "Will he stay strong if I wobble?" You must not flinch. When she acts colder, that's not a sign to chase, explain, or crumble. That is the moment to remain congruent. Stay rooted in who you are. Let your calm be unshaken, because she's watching. Not your words, but your frame. Is it real? Will it hold? Or is it just a mask that cracks under pressure? That's why Stoic rules matter here. Practical Stoicism isn't about being cold or detached. It's about being unmovable in your values and emotions while still remaining present. It's the kind of inner power that doesn't need to broadcast itself. It just is. Remember what Epictetus taught. If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. Don't take her distance personally. Take it as validation that she feels your energy. You are no longer just another man reacting to her whims. You've stepped into a rarer category, one she doesn't quite know how to handle yet. Be the calm, be the fireproof man. If her temperature drops when your clarity rises, you're doing something right. It's proof your presence has weight. It's the spiritual equivalent of walking into a room and making the air shift. But beware, many men crumble here. They interpret her chilliness as disapproval. They seek reassurance. They over-explain. And just like that, their frame collapses. The girl no longer sees strength. She sees a performance. Don't perform, be. Let your steadiness irritate her emotional chaos until it calms in your gravity. Let your actions prove that your control isn't conditional. It's who you are. This is the dance of polarity. Masculine order meets feminine energy. Sometimes the sparks don't fly with heat. Sometimes they fly in silence. So next time she withdraws when you level up your calm, don't chase. Don't question yourself. Instead, stand still, observe, smile with knowing. That coldness, it's just her way of checking if your strength is real. And if it is, you've already won. That, my friend, is one of the highest paths of wisdom a man can walk. Let her flinch. You stay free. If you found this valuable, like the video, share it with someone who needs this, and don't forget to subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Her coldness isn't rejection, it's a test of your strength. Comment to remember, my calm is power, her reaction is proof. Drop that in the comments to lock it in. 3. She picks small fights over nothing. She snaps at you over nothing. Sarcasm, random irritation, those little jabs that seem to come out of nowhere. Don't be fooled. That's not always disrespect. It's a test. It's not chaos, it's chemistry. Her nervous system is seeking stimulation, emotional spikes that pull her into the moment. Why? Because those little bursts of tension activate ancient emotional reward systems buried deep in the brain. She's not trying to fight you. She's trying to feel you. This isn't an argument. It's a signal, a challenge, a doorway. She's trying to find out if you're a man who loses himself or one who stands firm. And that's where you must win. Hold the line. Don't flinch. Don't mirror her chaos. Be the calm center of the storm. Respond, not with anger, not with weakness, but with strong, assertive clarity. Let your energy say, I see you, I hear you, and I am unmoved. That is how a man who follows Stoicism wins. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That truth is eternal. Conflict is often her subconscious way of asking, can you lead emotionally without becoming emotional? She wants to feel safe in your stability. She wants to know you won't collapse. You must be the rock, not the wave. In modern life, we've been taught to avoid tension, to run from discomfort. That is weakness disguised as comfort. Stop seeking comfort. Seek control. Master your state. When she tests you, don't collapse. Command. Don't raise your voice. Raise your presence. Don't react. Respond with power. That is how you win. That is how you create attraction that is unshakable. In the world of men and women, presence is the currency, and groundedness is gold. She's not always looking for perfection. She's looking for proof. Proof that you're not fragile. Proof that you can lead. Proof that you embody stoicism in action. Modern men are too quick to either retreat or explode. You must do neither. You must remain still, sharp, alert, like a lion watching the field. Let her emotions rise and fall, but you remain. That is strength. That is how a Stoic wins. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and you have the power to revoke that estimate. Let that be your weapon. So the next time she picks a fight over nothing, see it for what it is, a spark, a moment, an invitation to prove yourself without proving anything. You don't need to argue, you don't need to explain, you need to hold, because when you hold, you lead, and when you lead, you attract. This is the path, this is the play, this is how Stoicism wins. 4. She tries to fix or critique your habits. Don't mistake her concern for criticism. Don't flinch when she points out your posture, your sugar intake, your chaotic sleep schedule, or the way you tie your shoes like you're still in college. That's not nagging. That's not control. That's something far more interesting. And telling? That's a subtle signal, the kind you miss when you're too busy bracing for battle instead of observing with the calm of an iron mind. See, Old Stoic wisdom teaches us to notice the shape of things beneath their surface. And beneath her suggestions, her helpful little tips, lies something crucial interest. Not the loud kind, the soft, strategic kind. Psychologists might call it soft claim behavior, but let's cut the jargon. She's feeling you out. She's testing the waters. She's seeing if she can imagine herself orbiting your world, comfortably, maybe even permanently. That moment she adjusts your collar before you step into a meeting. Not control. That's closeness, disguised. When she says you should eat less processed meat, she's not trying to run your life. She's wondering if you'll live long enough to share one with her. A weak man, he bristles, gets defensive. He has judgment in every syllable. He clings to ego and takes advice as attack. But you're here because you want to be a strong man, a calm man, a man who applies Stoic principles not just in thought, but in action. And a strong man doesn't resist a mirror. He adjusts the image. He listens, filters, keeps what strengthens him, and discards what doesn't serve. He leads the dance, without stepping on toes. Be that man. Don't treat every suggestion as a threat. Don't try to outmaneuver her concern. That's fear disguised as pride. Instead, lean into it. Accept what's useful. Let her care sharpen you, not soften you. Old Stoic wisdom reminds us influence is not always loud. It often walks in quietly, with folded arms and raised eyebrows, asking you why you're still drinking diet soda. and you must be sharp enough to catch it. A woman refining your habits is not a dictator in disguise. She's a silent investor, buying stock in your potential. Now, this doesn't mean you give up your throne. You don't hand over the reins. A strong man remains the architect of his own life, but a wise man, an iron mind kind of man, builds with the best materials, even if some of those come from unexpected places. The key: keep the leadership dynamic, stay grounded in your own standards, but don't ignore the gold in what she offers. She's not trying to change you into someone else. She's imagining what life could look like with the best version of you. The one who gets up earlier, the one with stronger shoulders and better shoes, the one who leads and listens. So when she critiques you, smile, not because you're giving in, but because you're seeing the real signal she's interested enough to care. That is a test of your strength. That is the gateway to deeper connection. Don't fail it by being too proud to adjust your posture. Stand tall, shoulders back, with the quiet dignity of a man who knows who he is and who's wise enough to evolve. That's old Stoic wisdom. That's what separates men who stay alone and stiff from men who walk with an iron mind, unmoved by ego, shaped only by truth. Be the latter, always. If you found this insight powerful, like the video, share it with a friend, and hit subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Let's keep this conversation going. Comment below to lock it in. A strong man accepts influence without losing leadership. 5. She becomes overly agreeable, then disengages. She's laughing too much, nodding at everything. She agrees even when it makes no sense. For a moment, you feel like the most charming man alive. Then, poof, she disappears. Quiet, cold, a sudden emotional retreat. You wonder, did I say something wrong? Was she faking that smile? Why would she vanish after being so into me? Let's cut through the noise. This isn't inconsistency. It's not manipulation. It's not a game. It's a compliance spiral, and it's a strange one. What the hell is a compliance spiral? When a woman becomes overly agreeable, she's not always lying or trying to impress. Sometimes, she's overwhelmed. She might be nervous. She might be attracted. She might be trying to make a good impression. So she agrees. She mirrors your energy. She overextends. But beneath that charming nod and pretty laugh, her nervous system is screaming. Too much. Too soon I need out. It's like stretching a rubber band too far. Snap. So she pulls away, disengages. You feel the tension. Don't panic. That moment isn't rejection. It's regulation. This is the moment to practice. Practical stoicism. What do most men do here? They lean in. They try harder. More texting, more talking, more explaining. Don't. That's emotional overkill, and it makes her retreat even faster. Instead, hold the line. This is where the Stoic rules serve you. Be the calm, be the silence, let space do what words cannot. She's not asking for more energy from you. She's asking for air. Controlled distance is a test of strength. Pull back, just slightly. Not cold, not cruel, just quiet, intentional. Ask fewer questions. Don't chase her vibe. Stabilize your own. This is where most men lose the thread. They try to fill every silence. They think connection comes from constant conversation. No, real connection grows in contrast, between presence and pause, between closeness and curiosity. Parts of wisdom are rarely loud. They are still, intentional, measured. This is your invitation to embody practical stoicism in action, not theory. Let her feel your calm restraint. Let her wonder why you're not scrambling for her attention. Because deep down, she doesn't want a man who needs her approval. She wants a man who values his own emotional center. Let her resurface. If she pulled away because she got swept up in her own emotions, she needs time to come back to the surface. Don't block the path. Don't crowd the space. Let her wonder. Let her breathe. When you introduce silence into the space, it creates something powerful emotional gravity. Controlled distance amplifies her investment, not because you're playing hard to get, but because you already are someone who doesn't grasp. That's practical stoicism in love form, not forceful, warm, but not needy. The Stoic truth. Sometimes her disinterest is camouflage. Sometimes it's the emotional pendulum correcting itself. Your job is not to decode every emotion. Your job is to remain unchanging in your own. Let her return, not to a man who begged for closeness, but to one who knows how to walk the paths of wisdom, even through silence. This, friend, is the ancient game. Not conquest, but composure. Not pressure, but presence. Be still. Be wise. Be the man who knows not all retreat is rejection. Some of it is attraction in disguise. 6. She brings up another guy mid-conversation. Let's get one thing straight when she brings up another man mid-conversation. It's not always about making you jealous. It's a calculated move, a hidden test, a psychological probe. And here's the truth. It's not about him at all. It's about you. This is what the Old Stoics understood and mastered, what Epictetus would have called a test of your inner citadel. She isn't interested in the other man. She's interested in how you handle pressure. She's pulling tension into the moment. She wants to see your frame, your strength. Do you twitch? Do you flinch? Do you start defending yourself, subtly competing, or repositioning your value to match a man you've never met? If so, you've already lost. She's not measuring him. She's measuring you, your calm, your power, your ability to not react. Stoicism wins here, and it wins hard. Do not explain. Do not engage. Do not react. Your move is stillness. Total, unwavering stillness. The kind Marcus Aurelius spoke of when he said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." You don't attack. You don't defend. You simply are calm, collected, confident. That is frame. That is masculine leadership. That is dominance through non-reaction. When you don't take the bait, you win. When you remain unshaken, you win. When you treat her words like passing clouds, you win. Every flinch you don't make is another layer of strength she senses. Every silence you hold with confidence builds mystery, presence, and power. Don't explain your worth, radiate it. Let your silence carry the message, I do not compete. I am the prize. This is how Stoicism wins in modern life. Every day you walk into conversations, relationships, and challenges that test your emotional discipline. You must own your reactions. You must master your impulses. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, Pete, but how you react to it that matters." That quote isn't philosophy. It's a sword. Use it. In your relationships, in business, in daily life. Don't let her words, anyone's words, move your center. Be unmoved. Be immovable, be sovereign, her mention of another man. That's your trial, that's your arena, that's your chance to win. Don't turn it into drama. Don't take it personally. Let her speak, and let your silence thunder louder than any insecure reply. That's what separates boys from men. That's what makes you unforgettable. That's what builds your frame. That is how you lead. That is how you dominate without saying a word. You are not here to prove anything. You are here to demonstrate everything. Let her see the calm storm beneath your chest. Let her feel the deep-rooted strength of a man who has mastered himself. That is attractive. That is power. And that is the essence of the Stoic masculine path. In the end, it's not about the guy she mentions. It's about the man you become in response. Choose stillness. Choose strength. Choose control. Every time you do, you win. Stoicism wins, again and again and again. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us, or simply comment. Very cool. It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. 7. She zones out when you talk about your goals. Don't take it personally. Don't flinch. Don't assume disinterest means rejection. It rarely does. In fact, that glazed over look, that's not boredom. That's calculation. That's deep internal arithmetic running through a woman's brain like a high-powered algorithm. While you're speaking, she's not lost. She's evaluating. Women, especially the ones worth your time, don't just listen to goals, they assess the man behind them. This isn't about the surface. It's not about how flashy your dreams sound or how loud you say them. It's about the substance underneath. Her zoning out. That's her mind zooming in on your potential, zooming in on whether your ambition aligns with action, purpose, and follow-through. She's asking herself, silently, can this man protect? Can he provide? Does he move with direction or drift with delusion? Old Stoic wisdom reminds us, don't speak to be heard. Speak because it matters. When a woman seems momentarily distant while you're speaking your mission into the air, remember, she's not ignoring you. She's projecting your words into possible futures. Futures with you. Futures without. That's evolutionary wiring. Outcome-based thinking, women, by nature, are attuned to security, legacy, and trajectory. Your words are being weighed, not just for their poetry, but for their promise. She's not grading your sentence structure. She's grading your spine. Don't misread her silence as rejection. Be wiser than that. Be anchored in Stoic principles, those timeless foundations that forge an iron mind. An iron mind doesn't beg for attention, it commands it through clarity and purpose. So when you speak of your goals, don't water them down in hopes of a quick nod or flirty smile. Don't shrink to fit into her temporary gaze. Expand, sharpen, intensify, double down. Speak not for applause, but from alignment. Speak with conviction. Speak like a man who would chase the mountain whether anyone watches or not. Validation is a trap, and a Stoic man does not chase approval, he earns respect through unwavering direction. If she senses your purpose has roots, not just leaves fluttering in the wind, she'll come back. Mentally, emotionally, energetically. Old Stoic wisdom teaches us that the fire of purpose is never for decoration. It's for forging. Women don't want a flicker, they want a furnace. That zone-out moment, it's the pause before she decides whether to step closer or walk away. So don't dilute your vision for a quick connection. Fortify it, own it. Let it stand unshaken, even when her attention sways. Be firm. Be focused. Be a man who doesn't just dream, but embodies the dream. She doesn't want entertainment. She wants evidence. Evidence that you're moving with strength, not just making noise. Use Stoic principles to stay grounded when her gaze wavers. Understand, her quiet is not absence, it's analysis. And when she sees you, truly sees that you are more than words, you are momentum, direction, and discipline, her focus returns like a magnet finding metal, because a man who lives by old Stoic wisdom doesn't crumble when misunderstood. He remains resolute, and that, more than any speech, will capture her completely. 8. She tests your boundaries early. She ignores your message. She makes a snide little comment. She teases, but not kindly. She says something that toes the line between flirtation and disrespect. Most men panic. They either retreat or explode. But not you. Not if you walk the paths of wisdom. Not if you've trained your mind to follow the Stoic rules. You see, what looks like disinterest might actually be the opposite. What feels like rejection might be her reaching out to test your spine. She tests your boundaries early. Don't flinch. This isn't random behaviour. It's calculated, often unconsciously. Call it playful disrespect or a mild jab. Maybe she ignores your call, replies late, or drops a backhanded compliment. You feel it. Something's off. And here's the truth, she's testing you. Why? Because she needs to know if you're a man led by the crowd or governed by your own internal compass. This is ancient. This is primal. This is practical Stoicism in action. Women, especially high-quality women, don't want a pushover, but they also don't want a tyrant. They want containment, not control. Containment means you're solid. You can handle her fire. You're not trying to dominate. You're simply not easily shaken. This is where most men crumble. They get reactive, defensive, or worse. They chase harder. Don't. 2. The Stoic frame. Calm, clear, unshaken, Marcus Aurelius once wrote. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When she tests your limits, She's not looking for a doormat. She's looking for a fortress, not one with walls so high nothing gets in, but one with gates, strong, deliberate gates. She wants to know, can you hold your line? Here's how you respond. Don't argue, that invites chaos. Don't ignore, that shows fear. Acknowledge, lightly, reaffirm your standard, then move on. Let your demeanor say, I don't bend because you push. I bend only when I choose. This quiet certainty is what separates men who follow paths of wisdom from those who merely react. 3. Containment means safety, not submission. A woman pushing your limits doesn't mean she's trouble. It means she's looking for safety, though it's cloaked in a challenge. When she's playful with disrespect, she's essentially asking, can I trust you to hold your shape when things get messy? If you answer that with resentment, rage, or excessive appeasement, you've failed the test. Be calm, be clear, be kind, but unbending. Containment isn't about holding her back. It's about showing her you can hold yourself. That's what attracts her. That's what she respects. It's not just attraction, it's evolution. 4. Live by code, not approval. You must know your values, your code, your non-negotiables. This is the Stoic rules playing out in real time. When she pushes, what she's really doing is trying to see if you fold to external approval or stand firm with internal resolve. Most men want to be liked. Strong men want to be respected. That doesn't mean being cold. It means being warm and firm. It means knowing when to laugh off a joke and when to calmly say, that doesn't fly with me. It means holding your ground without turning it into a war zone. That's power. That's peace. That's the essence of practical stoicism. Final word be the oak, not the reed. In every early encounter, a woman will throw a few winds your way. Be the oak, not the reed. The reed bends with every breeze. The oak holds its shape, even when the storm comes. Don't mistake her test as an attack. See it as an invitation to rise, to show strength, to walk the paths of wisdom, not through bravado, but through clarity, stillness, purpose. And when you live like that, she won't just respect you. She'll lean in, because she's found something rare. A man who doesn't need to control her, because he's mastered himself. That is the Stoic way. That is your way. If she's testing your boundaries, it's not rejection, it's a challenge. She's looking for strength, not surrender. Most men cave or lash out, but if you stand firm, calm, and grounded, you separate yourself from the rest. Comment below. I lead with calm strength, not approval seeking. 9. She delays intimacy despite chemistry. That's not a rejection. That's a signal. When a woman hesitates, despite deep chemistry, it's not manipulation. It's not rejection. It's a test, a signal, a dance of fear and control. That pause is emotional risk management in real time. Chemistry lights a fire, but fire also burns. And when a woman senses a real connection, a powerful masculine presence, her instincts flare up. Fear of being misread, fear of being used, fear of being vulnerable in front of a man who might vanish. So, she taps the brakes, not because she doesn't feel something, but because she does. Her eyes linger, her voice softens, her energy vibrates. The signs are there, but her body holds back. Don't flinch, don't chase, don't push. She's watching you more closely now than ever. This is when a man trained in the wisdom of Epictetus, a man shaped by Stoicism, stands firm. Do not interpret hesitation as rejection. See it for what it is, a call for you to rise above the boyish urge to seek validation. This is where most men crumble. They take it personal. They react. They beg. They lean in. But you do not. You know better. You win by detaching from outcome. You win by observing from strength. You win by mastering your instincts instead of becoming their slave. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Now is not the time to speak neediness. Now is the time to radiate presence without expectation. Show her that you have options, that your life is rich, that intimacy with you must be earned, not gifted by desperation. Scarcity chases, abundance waits." Read that again. Scarcity chases, abundance waits. a man who has conquered himself, his urges, his ego, his need to prove, projects a power few women can resist. This isn't about playing games. It's about living from inner mastery. Epictetus taught, freedom is the only worthy goal in life, and that includes emotional freedom. Let her come to you. Let her feel safe. Let her wonder why you're not pressing forward. That tension will build desire more than any words ever could. Your move is not to escalate. Your move is to exude calm. Patience isn't passivity, it's power. It's the kind of power only earned by men who've lived, lost, learned, and risen again. Men who understand that Stoicism isn't a theory, it's a weapon. She slows down. Good. Let her. Show her that her pace doesn't rattle you. Show her that you are the mountain, not the wind. You do not move just because emotion demands it. You lead by restraint. That is strength. That is dominance. That is control. Don't beg. Don't explain. Don't overanalyze. Observe. Listen. Wait. And when she leans in, emotionally, physically, spiritually, you'll know it's real. Earned, true, because you waited, because you stood tall, because you followed the stoic path of the men before you. Remember the lesson: chemistry creates fear. Fear creates hesitation. Hesitation creates opportunity. The man who wins is the one who doesn't flinch, the one who breathes through the pause, the one who knows that in life and love, Stoicism wins. So master yourself. Observe. Smile inwardly. Let her reveal herself on her terms. And when she does, she'll find a man unlike the rest, a man who doesn't chase, a man who doesn't falter, a man forged by fire, guided by Stoicism, and destined to win. 10. She's cold, only with you. She's warm with the world, but winter with you. Ever seen that she's joking with the barista, grinning at your friend, tossing her hair like spring wind, and then with you, ice. One-word answers, glances that flick and freeze, a brittle tone that says, "Don't get too close. Now, don't be fooled. That isn't rejection. That, my friend, is suppression, and suppression is the cousin of desire. The old Stoic wisdom tells us that appearances lie. Emotions, when they run deep, often hide, not because they're weak, but because they're volatile. When a woman feels something powerful for a man with an iron mind, a man who walks in with presence and not pretense, she doesn't always giggle or flirt. Sometimes she recoils, not because you repulse her, but because you rattle her. She's trying to grip the wheel of self-control while her instincts are slamming on the gas. What you're witnessing is tension, not disinterest. That tension is unspoken energy, often electrified by attraction she hasn't made peace with. And when you're a high-value man, when you're calm in the fire, she feels it. Stoic principles remind us the stronger the pull, the more violent the resistance. She's not cold because she feels nothing. She's cold because she feels too much and doesn't want to look foolish. That's old Stoic wisdom at work. What looks like retreat is often a form of restraint. It's emotional containment, not a closed door. Don't be the man who chases warmth like a beggar with his hands out. Be the one who holds the silence. Be the one who doesn't flinch. The men who move women at their core, the ones they think about at night. Those men don't chase approval. They allow tension to breathe. They know that pressure, when properly applied, reveals truth. Let her sit in her awkwardness. Let her be tense. You stay centered. That's where the iron mind flexes, not in forcing comfort, but in mastering stillness. You must not soothe her discomfort. Let her feel the mystery of your calm. Let her wonder why you're not bending to make her smile. When you resist the urge to decode every cold word or closed-off glance, you send a signal, "I am not here for scraps." You say without saying, "You're allowed to feel whatever you feel, but I'm not going to dance for your approval." That's Stoic principles in action. That's how clarity is born, from pressure, not persuasion. So, don't mistake coldness for rejection. See it as a signal in disguise, a test, a trembling, an invitation to hold your frame. Women don't always say what they feel, especially when what they feel is more than they planned. And if you're the man who doesn't flinch, who stands grounded in silence, tension, and truth, you'll find the story shifts, not because you forced it, but because you understood that old Stoic wisdom never demands warmth. It draws it out, quietly, powerfully, and with absolute composure. So, if you're done decoding mixed signals and ready to command real responses, don't chase, don't react, stay still, stay sharp, hold the frame, be the man of iron mind who lets pressure speak louder than words. And that's it for today's video. If you found any value in this, if something clicked or made you think differently, even just a bit, go ahead and give it a like, share it with someone who might need to hear this, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future insights like this one. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree, disagree, or have a personal story that relates? Drop it in the comments below. I read them, and real discussions are always welcome here. Remember, recognizing subtle signs isn't about overanalyzing. It's about understanding people with clarity and calm. Old Stoics knew that awareness, not anxiety, is what gives you the edge. Stay sharp, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next one.